During the winter, when it was cold and disagreeable here, we decided to take a winter vacation and get some warmth in Mexico. By the time we were ready to leave, it was springtime here and the daffodils were in bloom. We flew from San Francisco to Puerto Vallarta, and when we got there, we checked in at our beautiful timeshare on Banderas Bay, Vidanta Nuevo Vallarta. This is a beautiful piece of property with something going on just about every night and water features everywhere. There's no way you could get bored, and the service from the people is just exceptional. The Santuario is the location for all the nightly shows that go on, and there is something just about every night. There's no way you could get bored in this place. There are shuttles that take you just about everywhere. You just have to call and they're there. The craftsmanship and the wood that's used here is really pretty spectacular. Reminds me of European craftsmanship. This is an example of the new buildings that are being built and some of the water features that will be included in the grounds. The Grand Mayan was the name of the building we were in. There are many other buildings, of course, with many other names. My legs did not remain this pale. By the time I got home, I had a pretty good burn. Water is a big part of what goes on in this resort. I especially enjoyed the stream of water, which they called the lazy river. You simply get in it and sit in an inner tube sort of thing, and it moves, and you just flow along with it, and it's great fun. The grounds here are extremely well kept. There's people all the time watering, trimming, cutting, mowing, etc. It's just really a wonderful place to be around. It makes you feel good just to be there. We took one day and took a taxi into town and walked up and down the Malecon and saw what that's all about. It's a very pleasant place, great art. Love the statuary. In 2011, traffic patterns on the Malecon were changed so no cars are allowed on the street. It makes a very comfortable promenade. You can walk without looking over your shoulder. As you walk along the Malecon, you can look up and see the streets in going into the hill. This is how short and how small this town really is. Our next adventure was a day trip to San Sebastian, which is a small little mountain town. En route, our guide stopped at Las Palmas, which is another little Mexican town, a very original. The bus stopped, and we had an opportunity to hear a man talk about how tequila is made and gave samples and so forth and had it for sale, but of course you couldn't take it on the airplane. Some of the flowers around there are really in high season. It was a very pretty little place. Part of the package was lunch in a very traditional Mexican restaurant. The food was really great. After that, we walked the streets some with the guide pointing out all sorts of things to us. Very pretty place. Cobblestone streets made it a little hard to walk, but nevertheless very pretty and very original. As is typical in many of these Mexican towns, the center of town has a plaza where most things seem to happen and a church, which is very important to this particular culture. On our way out of town, we stopped at a coffee plantation and got a little lesson in how coffee is grown and how it's roasted. Rather interesting.